Hey y'all, welcome back to Cowboy Craftsman. I appreciate you coming by. I wanted to make a quick video today to go over the CNC probe. It was something that kind of was a little challenging for me to figure out in the beginning. However, when I learned what it did and what its use was, it made things a lot easier for me with the carving process and the engraving processes on the CNC machine. So without further ado, let's check it out. What the hell's this thing? This is a CNC probe, and it's going to work wonders in your shop once you figure out how to use it. Okay, so I had a piece of 1/2-inch plywood. This was a design I put together in carve and built it with the center as my starting point, like so. And there's no bit in here right now, but I believe this was a full carve, I believe. So I had a 90-degree V-bit in this, and once I had it centered in the middle of the board, I brought in my probe. Okay, you'll notice a couple of things. The probe is upside down. That's because when I carved this, I set the X and the Y coordinates on my own by simply centering the router within the middle of the plywood. So I already had X and Y set manually. Turning the probe upside down and probing this way will only probe your Z, which is the height of your coordinates, the height of your piece that you're working on. Once I had it centered, X, Y, Z were all input. Of course, I pulled off the collet here, pulled off the magnet from the collet, took the probe away, and now I was ready to carve. Here's the problem. When you start from the center of your piece, if your X and Y coordinates that you've manually sent, here's your X coordinate, here's your Y. If you set those manually, they have to be perfectly lined up for your probe to carve exactly the way that you want it to. Otherwise, the probe's not going to carve correctly and your measurements will be off. Notice here on the flag, it looks great at a quick glance, but if you look up here, you see how my X coordinates are off. It's actually carved at an angle, which I don't like. And thankfully, this was a test piece. It's not a perfect piece, but it was one of my first carves here on the OneFinity CNC. And I still like the way it came out. It's just something I keep in the garage now to show off. But anyway, that's the problem that I ran into without setting the X, Y, and Z all together with the CNC probe. Here's kind of what that looks like. When you set this up right, this is kind of what it should look like. I've got the touch probe tucked in here on the corner of the board, and I've got my bit down here close to the little circle. That's the target circle we've got to be at. And I'm now ready to probe X, Y, Z on my machine. I'll show you how to do that in a later video. Once you probe X, Y, Z, then you're ready to start your carve, and it should go really well from that point. I like to start from that bottom left-hand position when I do my carves now. That way I know that everything will be lined up like it's supposed to be. One other thing, I've started an Etsy channel. If you look me up at Cowboy Craftsman, just like the YouTube channel here on Etsy, I'm gonna start loading up some digital SVG, EPS, AI, DXF files for you to download. You can carve some of the stuff you'll see on my channel. Everything has been tested heavily in CNC software. You should not run into any errors when you load these files. Feel free to tag me on Facebook or Instagram, and I look forward to seeing what you create. All right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. Please give me a like and a follow for some more videos I'll be producing here in the near future. We'll go over how to use the probe. I'll walk you through it step by step, and it'll help you with all of your carves moving forward. I promise you that. Until next time.